Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Let's talk about the DENAFRIPS HADES preamp today. DENAFRIPS has 3 preamp in a preamp lineup. The first one is the Hestia preamp. The second one is the HADES preamp, and the flagship is the Athena preamp. So HADES is sitting in between the Hestia and Athena, and in my opinion, it's a pretty good preamp for the price. It weighs about 10 kilogram. The width is about 320 mm, the depth is about 380 mm, and the height is 60 mm. Right, it comes with 2 XLR inputs and 1 RCA input, a pair of XLR output, and a pair of RCA outputs. Of course, an IEC inlet for you to connect the AC mains power cord to this preamp. DENAFRIPS HADES preamp comes with this automatic AC sensing circuitry, where the sensing circuitry here detects the AC mains, be it 120 in the US, 240 in the EU, UK, or like me in Singapore. Once the sensing circuitry detects the AC mains, it switches a couple relay here to send the correct voltage to this all-core transformer. So this all-core transformer will step down the 220 or 120 voltage to a smaller AC here. The smaller AC is further filtered and regulated by this bunch of capacitor bank, and as well as the linear power supply regulator here. So I call it a super regulator. The clean DC will then supply to this class A buffer as well as the relay, to the 2 row of relay you see here. So DENAFRIPS uses relay for volume attenuation. Is a relay based attenuator, where as you turn the volume up or down, the relay switches to engage the correct resistor value for the volume attenuation. It's also important to note that DENAFRIPS preamp are unity gain. Unity gain, there's no gain, so the gain is 0 dB. In theory, at maximum volume on the preamp, be it the Hestia, Athena, or the HADES, the output value, the output signal will be equal to the input source level. So DENAFRIPS believe in using unity gain preamp instead of preamp with high gain is really because of the sonics performance. So DENAFRIPS believe that relay-based attenuator coupled with unity gain design preserve the signal integrity and purity better compared to those high gain preamp. So matching of unity gain preamp is pretty important. You must know the power amp gains. Most of the gain of the power amp on the market is pretty high. I would say power amp with 20 dB and above of gain, of course, 20 dB and above gain, matching with DENAFRIPS preamp will be fine. You must also know that the loudspeaker sensitivity, the source output signal, has to be matched so that the preamp can be used to attenuate the volume of your system. I always recommend to use a proper preamp like this, the HADES, the Hestia, or the Athena. It's really because, in my opinion, digital volume control still is evolving. There's no doubt about it. So digital volume is evolving, but in my opinion, a proper analog preamp like this still sounds a little bit better compared to the digital volume control DAC or the source. And also, I personally do not like digital volume control. Is really because a slight mistake in the digital volume control, let's say for example, you are sliding the slider of the digital volume control too fast, you may render the output of the DAC or the transport or the streamer to maximum volume. At this maximum volume, the excessive loudness may damage the loudspeaker. So a proper preamp like this is less prone to mistake of having the output goes to maximum in a split second, because literally you need to turn the volume up or down by using this volume knob or using the remote control. Oh yes, this thing comes with a remote control. It is a pretty bulky one. It made of full aluminum. It allows you to control the volume, turn on the unit on and off, and select the correct channel that you would like to use. So this is the pretty bulky remote control that you can even use it as a weapon. I'll just put it aside. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between the HADES and I have here the Hestia Preamp. So the Hestia Preamp is smaller, as you can see. Let me put it side by side, and I think it's about 60 mm shorter than the HADES. Similar architecture. AC mains comes in here, sensing circuitry that detects the AC mains, and it switches a couple of relay to power up this smaller all-core transformer. Yes, it is smaller. This power transformer in the Hestia Preamp is 60 VA, is 20 VA less than the HADES, but it's still a pretty good quality all-core transformer. And the all-core transformer step down the AC to a smaller AC and further regulated by this super regulator here. The cap bank over here is slightly less capacitor compared to the HADES, but of course it's equally good quality in my opinion. And the DC is sent to this buffer circuitry here and the relay right over here in different color. But of course the choice of component of DENAFRIPS in different production batch may differ. The color of this relay doesn't really matter. It is still a pretty good quality relay. So compared to the HADES, my version was using Omron relay, and this Hestia is using TE relay. So all these relay are pretty good quality relay. So different production batch may have different good quality relay, and so the relay is not the major highlight here. The highlight here is the resistor. I should have a pointer here. Okay. The resistor of the Hestia is SMD, whereas the resistor of the HADES is through hole, high quality, reshare 1%, plus minus 1% tolerance resistor. So the resistor in the preamp, especially in the volume relay-based attenuator preamp, play a pretty important role because the signal pass through all this relay. The higher quality and the lower tolerance the resistor is, the better sonic performance, or rather the signal that goes through this relay will have less loss. The purity of the signal is preserved, parallel sending to this class A buffer. So HADES and Hestia uses class A buffer, same apply to the Athena. So Athena uses the class A unity gain buffer as well. So the signal is buffer over here by using all this discrete class A buffer before sending to the XLR and RCA connector. So if you ask me what are the sonic differences between the Hestia and the HADES, it really depends on your system. On my desktop setup with a pair of Genelec 8020 active loudspeaker, I would think the Hestia is good enough. Can I hear a difference between the Hestia and HADES? Hardly. In honesty, hardly. Reason being is my room is not well treated. The track that I play using my Pontus DAC, most of the time I play news radio. News radio in a pretty low bit rate. So Hestia and HADES sound pretty similar in my desktop setup. But Hestia and HADES, the difference really can tell in my bigger setup just next door. When I use Terminal Plus DAC, and when I use an Apollo Power Amp in a treated room and a pair of ATC SCM50 or the Magical A3, the Hestia is more musical, more details. The key point here is the details. The details and the musicality of this HADES preamp is so much more better compared to the Hestia. Hestia sounds a little bit warmer, less forgiving, and you can say it's a little bit less detail. Some say it is warmer and it is losing a bit of details, but HADES in my bigger system truly shine. So this is the sonic comparison between Hestia and the HADES. And let me power up this guy and show you some of the operation that you may expect. Okay, let me flip it like this and put it on top of this mat here. Okay, I have this simple power cord here. Let me just plug it in. So as I plug in the power cord, you should hear a couple of relay clicking sound. This is when the sensing circuitry is working to detect the AC mains and send the correct voltage to this 80 VA all-core transformer. So let me plug in the power cord. One click. second click. So this energizes the auto transformer, and you notice there's this small little dot LED here to tell us that the HADES preamp is powered up in standby mode. So to turn on this guy, you can either use this remote control or use this left knob here. It's a multifunction knob where it can be pressed to turn on the unit. So there are a couple of relay clicking sound again to turn on the unit. So it takes about 3 seconds to turn on. So as the unit is turned on, you notice there's this IN1. So this is input 1 selected. As you turn the left volume knob, I should say the left selected knob. As you turn the left knob, it changes the input selection. You can also notice that as you turn the knob, you hear relay clicking sound. So some customers say that why is it the preamp is making noise internally? It's really because the relay is doing its work to select the correct desired input that you want to use. Same goes to the right knob. So the right knob changes the volume from 0 to 60, 0 being the minimum, 60 being the maximum volume. So as you turn the volume left, counterclockwise or clockwise, the relay inside energize, engage and disengage to select the correct resistor for the volume attenuation. So again, this is making some sensational noise that some customers like and some customers do not like it. Some customers say that it is making noise, it doesn't suit his needs. Some customers prefer a very silent operation where relay-based preamp cannot offer a silent operation. So if you would like to have silent operation preamp, this is not for you, because as you turn the volume by using the knob or even by using this remote control, you hear the relay clicking sound. So the remote control allows you to change the volume up or down, and it allows you to change the input selection as well. And currently it's input 3, 1, 2, 3. Of course you can go backward, 3, 2, 1. This guy can also allow you to dim the display brightness. So there are 3 levels. As you press on the time button here, it changes the brightness of the display, 1 level, 2 level, and the brightest. So there are 3 levels of brightness that you can choose by using this remote control. The remote control can also turn off the unit by putting the unit into standby, and of course you can turn it on by using the knob as well, or you can turn it to standby by using the knob. Pressing it for 5 seconds will turn off the unit turn the unit to standby. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's 3 seconds. So it turned the unit to standby. So this is how you use the HADES preamp. The operation of HADES preamp is identical to the Hestia preamp. So the two are pretty similar. For the price difference of about 400 Singapore dollars, I think if your system is revealing and the source, if you are using a Pontus or the Venus 2 DAC or even the Terminator DAC in a revealing system, HADES will be the recommendation. And Hestia is for system that is more forgiving. You want the music to sound a little bit more relaxed, more warm, not so much of details, and you prefer the music to sound smoother. Hestia will be the recommendation. I hope you like this video. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.